What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're checking out the all-new 2026 Hyundai Ioniq 9. This one is an all-wheel drive performance, finished off in the gravity gold matte. So super cool paint job. This is also the calligraphy design. So this is a top trim level coming in at $79,500. So if you're looking for a luxurious 3-row electric car, is this the way to go? So I can press that button for the front trunk space. Obviously, this is an EV, so there is no engine up here. You're gonna get a couple charging accessories. Overall, a nice little trunk up here as well. Now, for some specifications, we have a 110.3 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery, 422 horsepower with 516 pound-feet of torque. We also have a 311 max range, along with 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds, and curb weight is around 6,000 pounds. Of course, this is all-wheel drive as well. For the overall styling, this is super unique. Nothing really looks like this out on the market. The headlights are really crazy looking. You have the unlock button, of course. You have all those amber lights popping up, then a really cool line throughout the center. This is also like a dark plastic with a mesh behind it, so it's like a smoked out design. Headlights are actually over here with all these different LEDs, parking sensors, forward-facing camera, openings as well to provide some cooling. Different color contrast throughout the front end. It's definitely interesting looking with a unique style all around. We have a very smooth design for the hood with your Hyundai badge and then some sharp lines throughout it. At the side profile, we also have a really cool design for these fender flares. You can see the side sensor, these nice multi-spoke design along the wheels. They are 21-inch diameter. You're also going to get some gloss trim throughout the entire side profile, power folding on the side mirrors. You also have those automatic deploying side door handles. More sharp body lines throughout the side, some silver trim, and then black trim throughout the rest of the windows. We get a panoramic sunroof up above with your roof rails. And then for the side profile, you can tell it's a 3-row SUV. It does have some good size to it. It's certainly not small. And then in back, I like this silver trim piece for the third window. Has a pretty cool look overall. We've got our charge port back here. Very easily, you can open that up, gain access to everything. Pressing that, we can automatically close the door. You're going to see more of the body color down below, the gloss trim, same with the whole rear bumper. And then once again, the LED taillights are super unique, spanning across the entire rear end. Got the Hyundai logo in the center, and then Ioniq 9 is kind of embedded into the bodywork. Got more gloss black trim, reverse light right in the center, and then we can of course press some of the buttons on the key fob. We do have the smart park, so I go ahead and lock it, and then hold down the start button. We're going to automatically start up the car. The electronics are going to start to turn on. You can see the lights flashing a little bit, and then from here I can just press the button on the key fob. You can of course see those white lights turning on, and now we are driving the car with the key fob. So cool feature. You've seen this in a lot of Hyundais. It is pretty practical to get this out of maybe a puddle or something. And we're back into the shade, but pretty cool design overall. Pressing that button, we can shut everything off, and then keeping it unlocked, let's check out the interior. Hopping in, the start button is pretty unique. It is right here on the stock. I can fire everything up. So on the door panel, we have this soft touch plastic type material. Same with the silver trim. There's ambient lighting, perforations, release handle, massaging seats, memory seats, and all of our controls down below with a large armrest. On the steering wheel, I like the two-tone with the light and dark, paddle shifters for regen braking. Left side, we have some cruise control settings, and we can configure the center screen. You're gonna have a couple things popping up depending on which screen you go into, and then of course you can see your speed, range, and all sorts of vitals. We have some shortcuts on the right side along with audio controls, stock on the right side for windshield wipers, and then our drive select is all down below. We have the stock on the left side for your headlight controls, and then we have an air vent down here, the tailgate release, the trunk, traction control, and then just some plastic trim throughout it, heads-up display, somewhat of a soft touch, and then kind of this plastic texture that looks like a metal marble. More plastic trim throughout the center, finished in silver. And then for the screen in the center, kind of your typical Hyundai setup, so very familiar if you're used to modern Hyundais. You have these large tiles making it very easy. You can adjust all sorts of different things. Going into reverse, we're going to get that backup camera and top-down view. You have plenty of other views you can play with. 360 camera design as well, easily see around the car. And then tapping the P button, we're back into park. You have air vents in the center, a couple different shortcuts for the screen, making it very easy to configure everything, to go through everything. We have climate controls down below, dual zone temperature, heated and vented seats, your fan speed, all the different zones. Then there's plugs and storage all throughout the center. In the center console, we get your 2 cup holders, drive mode right here. You can toggle between drive and terrain, and in here you're going to have different street modes as well as different off-road modes. Also, the steering wheel has a cool little design. All those LED lights are going to flash to a different color depending on the drive mode you go into. We have a shortcut to the parking sensors and cameras, nice wireless phone charging pad, and then we can open up the center glove box with a ton of space. We have controls for this seat to get it out of the way, which is great for rear passengers, and then there's extra storage up here along with a nice glove box. One last look at the interior. Definitely luxury appointed, I would say. You have this cool micro suede for the entire headliner, massive sunroof, all those controls, and then a digital rear view mirror as well. Going ahead and shutting everything off, and then making our way to the back seat space. You have those handles that will pop outwards, and then in back we have the massive doors with all the same materials. It is all plastic, however it is a nice soft touch. Massive sunshades, and then with everything folded flat, you can get a good idea of all the cargo space. Super roomy car in back. And if we make our way to the third row area, you can just press this button right here and you're gonna get the power liftgate. Now this is a pretty spacious car, to be honest. With everything folded down, we have 86.9 cubic feet of cargo volume, nice and flat. And then we can press these two buttons to lift up the second row. And then from here, you're gonna get 46.7 cubic feet of volume behind the second row. Then we have our third row buttons as well. Popping those up, it goes down to 21.9 cubic feet, which is still plenty. Got extra storage in here as well, so definitely can't complain with the amount of space you're gonna get. And then as we hop into the second row seating, we have these nice captain's chairs with the recline abilities. So you're gonna get this massive leg rest right here that you can play with. And then we have climate controls, heated and vented seats. We can open that up for extra storage, and we can open that up for even more extra storage. You got a plug on each side with extra storage space here. And at 5'11", I have a ton of legroom, good headroom. Air vents are in the ceiling. Got your adjustable armrests as well. Now, honestly, this is very nice. You have power controls for these seats, and really can't complain at all for the back. And then to get these seats out of the way, we have a button up here. You can just press once. It'll take a couple seconds, but this will fold out of the way to climb into the back. Got all your power controls, of course, and then this can seat 2 people in the back. Got your headrest that will pop upwards as well, and then these are automatic for the recline. We have these buttons on the sides. You can easily pop them backwards for better space, and then hopping into the back seats. They're pretty comfortable. I'd say they're very padded, not too low, however, definitely sits a little on the low side. You feel like you're kind of sinking down into the car, especially with these big windows that are up higher. But we have a nice little armrest, some storage, and I still have enough legroom. So honestly, 2 grown-ups, I don't think would have an issue back here. You even have air vents as well. So can't complain at all. Seems like a pretty roomy car for the family. All right, so setting off now in the Ioniq 9. We'll leave it in sport mode. So this does have a little bit of some off-road capabilities. Maybe if you're going on like a weekend camping trip or something with its all-wheel drive and the few drive modes, it's a pretty cool touch. Giving it some throttle. Thing's pretty quick. It weighs 6,000 pounds, so it's obviously not a small or lightweight vehicle, but for being at 3-row, I mean, this is very quick, as you would expect for any electric vehicle. Now, overall comfort as a driver, the seat's pretty nice. You have a ton of different maneuverabilities to be nice and comfortable. You have the power controls for the steering wheel as well. So pretty good front row here. Lots of visibility, good view around, no crazy blind spots. The second row headrest gets a little bit in the way, hitting some big bumps. This thing tackles bumps really nicely. You can tell the luxury aspects that are in this SUV. So I feel like they did a pretty good job just giving you that aspect. This is a luxury car for 80 grand, you know, it better be quite nice. And then getting up and going once again. You can spin the tires a little bit when you're accelerating, but definitely nice and zippy. It's been really easy just to zip it around town, and with the amount of space that this car has, it's pretty incredible how practical this really is. This is a nice, normal, big SUV without being too big, honestly. Now, when you're driving it, it is super comfortable, super smooth. You really don't hear much wind noise or road noise. I mean, it's just kind of gliding over the bumps really effortlessly. So they've done a good job insulating you from the outside, and then with all the glass, the panel roof, things like that, I mean, it feels pretty nice and open. Now, the interior, for $80,000, this is all plastic, It looks cool, but the more you look at it, I mean, it's got a soft touch, but you can tell it's just all plastic in here. So that's maybe my one gripe for $80,000. You can get a nice pre-owned, like a CPO BMW X7, which, you know, that's going to be a nice BMW interior. So that's kind of my only toss-up with this, is maybe just the color, but I don't know, it does feel kind of like a plasticky interior for $80,000. And of course, with EVs in general, you know, they're just more expensive in general. So that's kind of just my downfall with it, is just it's a lot of money for, you know, not a premium brand. Doesn't mean it's not nice. It has all the amenities, all the luxury features you would expect for $80,000, and definitely fits the bill for that, and it's super practical overall. I like how the second and third row operate too. I think that makes it nice and easy. So nothing really crazy about the driving experience that I wouldn't like. I'd say overall it's a nice to drive car. It does feel a little big, kind of feels like a big minivan, to be quite honest, more than an SUV. So it's kind of that spacious, kind of airy feel like in a minivan. So it's a little bit interesting versus a normal SUV. And then obviously the styling is quite crazy looking with how unique it is. But I think ending thoughts when you're just cruising in it, you know, it's a nice, smooth, luxury focused SUV with the amenities, the bells and whistles. It's got the practicality. It's got pretty good power. When you're in the normal mode, it's nothing all too crazy. When you go into sport mode, that's when it really comes alive and starts accelerating pretty good. So as long as you play with the drive modes, you can really utilize the power. As far as efficiency, you know, getting over 300 miles on a charge isn't too bad. It seems to do a good job just being an efficient electric car with enough range to not give you the range anxiety, which would be one of my big downfalls with most electric cars.